Hey everyone, it's Erica with Excel with Erica. How are you today? How's your Saturday? I'm so glad it's the weekend. So today I thought we could talk about vulnerability. Why? Um, I think this topic came up for me at least because this last work week was trash. Straight up trash. And I came home and I was just like, OMG. Another day, I want to just scream, right? We've all had those days where you kind of question everything about what you're doing, your life. Are you doing things that you should be? Should you change anything? Um, Being in the middle of starting a new business, but still working full time while I'm trying to grow and dealing with the daily challenges of life, right? So the week was a hard one, and it just made me question a lot of things. It also, for a time, I started to wonder, like, am I thinking about this too much? Am I being too emotional? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Da 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 da. Da. And then I was like, why am I judging myself? If my intention is good and I work hard every day and the end result is to be successful, to treat everyone with respect, to do a really good job, to make everyone proud. Um, why do I need to feel bad about who I am? Have you been there before? I think we all have to some degree, right? So I thought about the whole vulnerability thing. Okay, I love me some Brene Brown, and if you don't know who she is, use the Googler and check her out. I love her. I love her books. Atlas of the Heart is one of my all-time faves. I think she's really helped to define for me different emotions, what they can mean. And I think something that was really huge for me that I did was like, I would look at someone and if I assumed for them to be angry, I would obviously react in that space, but I never really asked them what they were thinking or feeling. And probably most of the time, when I assumed someone was behaving a certain way, I was very wrong. And I learned that when people behave the way that they do, they just do it based on their background, what they were accustomed to, how they were raised. It doesn't necessarily mean what I think it means. So I might think somebody's super mad at me when in reality they're frustrated about something else, or they're scared about something, or they were thinking about something else, and the behavior was received by me like they were angry. And they weren't at all, could have nothing to do with me. I learned that even as much as I love to communicate, I have been getting a lot of things wrong in my life and how I receive information and how I communicate to others, how I digest information. And so I wanted to make sure that in moving forward, I am in the right space. Now, does that mean that everything will always be successful? Nope. Does that mean that I'm still going to have mistakes or make mistakes? Yep. Does that mean that I'm still going to misunderstand people? Absolutely. But if I wake up every day and my intention is to be the best version of myself and to understand people and to behave accordingly, at least I can put my head on my pillow every night knowing that I did the best that I can. You know what I mean? So after having a crappy week, I was just kind of like, what? Maybe I should change who I am. Maybe I shouldn't allow everything to get in. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I feel too much. Da 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 da. No, I'm me and I can't change who I am. What I can do is I can adapt to some degree to different things, right? So I wanted to talk about vulnerability because I think there are people, I think we're all vulnerable in our own way. But whether or not we help other people see how we are vulnerable is a totally different story. For those of you who are like, what the heck is vulnerability? Vulnerability happens when you're honest and transparent with your feelings, your thoughts, experiences, by sharing personal stories, admitting mistakes, and the emotional exposure can come with a degree of uncertainty. That's because being vulnerable invites others to see you as you truly are. I think in this world, we all want to be vulnerable. I think in this world, we all want to love, be loved, respected, um, feel appreciated, understood. We want to have really strong connections in life, whether it's personal or professional, right? But sometimes the fears of our past, um, or even experiences that we've had or we've seen other people experience, can influence how we behave and how much we're willing to be open to others, right? So, for instance, if my mom had a very difficult life with her spouse, and I saw that as a child, maybe as an adult, I may be more uh, scared to be completely open with another partner because I am afraid they're going to treat me the way that I might have seen my mom treated, right? So maybe I'm not as vulnerable as I could be. In the workplace, if I've seen other people being disrespected by doing good things, I may not want to open my mouth or even try because I don't want to be put in the same space. What I'm learning in life is if you choose not to live your life and just be you, fight for the things that you want, be open, be honest, communicate, say what you're thinking, say what you're feeling, you're not going to live a fulfilling life. Is it hard? Yup. Does it hurt a lot? Absolutely. Do people treat you like crap? Mm-hmm. But they do in all the other avenues as well. So why not live your life the way that matters, right? Um, so in being vulnerable, saying how you're feeling, what you're thinking, not being afraid to admit when you make mistakes, not being afraid to say what you're truly feeling, that can be super helpful for other people. But it can also be super intimidating and annoying. I've had people treat me rather unkindly because I was honest about what I felt, and they just thought I was being a baby or whining or that I was too open and it made them uncomfortable. But what I'm learning in life is if I'm being brutally honest in a respectful way and you can't receive that, perhaps you're not the person that I should be being brutally honest to anyway. Because if you're going to make me feel bad about who I am, we have a bigger problem, right? So if you want to have honest and open and healthy relationships with others, you have to be willing to be all of those things to them and also allow them to be those things for you in a safe and open space. It's not easy, but I mean, I see, like, if I'm trying to be brutally honest about something or if something hurts my feelings and I tell the other person, you can usually tell when someone's uncomfortable because sometimes they'll joke about it or they'll make fun of you or they'll completely ignore what you said completely or they'll just like not do anything and shut down or fight with you. Does that mean you should change who you are because they're uncomfortable? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. When you are vulnerable, honestly, when you are willing to be open, to communicate what you're thinking, to say what you're feeling in a respectful and honest space, you are creating a safe space for others as well, right? It can help you to achieve like a stronger strength within yourself because then you're like, I'm just being me. I'm not being fake. I'm not catering to what others want me to be. I'm being me and I like me. I feel good about who I am. And you'll want to keep doing that, right? Um, Being vulnerable can help you to nurture really strong relationships, which is so important. If you want a relationship where you're respected and loved, it's your soft place to fall, it's your safety net, you have to be willing to create that for others. And if you're being fake, you're not going to create that for anyone, right? Um, when you are being vulnerable, you're also improving your own self acceptance. You're accepting yourself for exactly as you are. That's something I have, after a very long road, finally been able to do for myself. Does that cause other people to feel uncomfortable? Mm hmm. Does that mean that I've had to let go of what I thought were strong friendships along the way? Yep. Does that mean that there are many times that I've been hurt, disappointed, surprised at how others treated me? Yeah, absolutely. But at this stage in my life, I accept myself 100%. If others don't want to accept me, I'm strong enough now to say, bye. I wish you well. You don't have to be a jerk about it. You can simply just let them go. I am who I am, and I am willing to change the things about myself that I need to continue to grow and become the best version of myself. What I am no longer willing to do is change myself or lower myself or make myself smaller so you can feel better about yourself. Why? Why should you do that to yourself? Because other people have not done the hard work to feel good about who they are. Don't do it. Be you. Be unapologetically you, because it's enough. When you are vulnerable, you also encourage emotional growth within yourself and with others, right? I like that I can say what I'm feeling. I like that I'm finally not afraid to say if you've hurt my feelings, if you've disrespected me. I like being able to open a space for us to be able to communicate about the things in life that really matter. And if we can't do that, we're not going to be able to do it in any capacity, whether it's business related, whether it's personal, whether it's professional. Like, it's not going to work. I want people on my team and in my life who are honestly and sincerely going to tell me what they're feeling and thinking. And if they're scared or overwhelmed, I want to help walk them through that. And I want to know when I'm feeling the same thing, they're going to do the same for me. Otherwise, I'm not interested, quite honestly. And you shouldn't be either. And I think one of the other things that being vulnerable is super important, is it helps to promote like who you are authentically, who you are coming to the table as and being. Um, I'm. Some people may say I'm weird. Some people may say I'm different. Some people may say I'm special. Um, People always tell me like you are not like anyone else I ever met. I'm good with that. I'm absolutely good with that. Um, my personality is different. Some of my behaviors may be different. Some people don't understand me. Some people, lots of people probably don't like me. But at the end of the day, I'm just me. And I'm going to bring to the table who I inherently am. If there are ways for which I can improve, please tell me. And if it's a way that I think that I can do that, I'm happy to change. But I'm not going to change because you don't like something about me and you want me to be different so you can feel better about yourself. Those days are over. And I hope our younger generations can learn this so much younger in life. It took me a lifetime to learn that who I am as a person, how I feel, how I think, which has always been questioned, which has always been challenged, which has always been made fun of, how I present myself, how I look, it's enough because it's mine, it's me, it's how I am defined. And I don't want anyone to take that away from me anymore. And if you do want to take it away from me, we just don't need to be friends. Or, if we're in a professional setting and you don't like who I am, that's cool. But how do we move forward? How do we work in a professional environment, in a professional setting where we all can be successful? That's all I care about at the end of the day. I hope that we can kind of take a step back and look at life and look at how we show up every day. And we can find ways to acknowledge how we maybe haven't been the best to other people and to ourselves. And I hope that we can take the time to work on that, to become better versions of ourselves, to recognize it's okay to work on ourselves and to try to change to be a better version. It's also okay to not accept crap from other people. It's also okay to say, no, I don't like when you say that about me. Don't do it anymore. It's also okay to say, when you said that, that hurt my feelings, and I don't want you to do that anymore. It's also okay to say, I know you say you love me, but then when you tell me that I have to do blah, blah, and blah to change how I am, it hurts. And I don't want to do it anymore. I need you to love me as I am, or we can't do this anymore. These are the conversations that we all need to have. These are the things that we all need to do. And before we can have a better society, better relationships, better professional working environments, we have to be willing to put in the hard work to work on ourselves, to change ourselves when change is necessary. And we have to be willing to be more vulnerable, more open, more willing to communicate, more willing to hear. And oh, by the way, if you don't understand exactly what someone is thinking or feeling, and probably you don't, ask for clarification. There's nothing wrong with that. You look really angry at me right now. Are you angry? It's that simple. I have learned in this self-healing journey, there were many a times where I was probably wrong when I assumed that someone was looking at me the wrong way or thinking something negatively about me based on their body language. And now when I ask for clarification, it's kind of neat when I'm assuming somebody's angry and I'm like, what's going on? What are you feeling right now? And then they say something like, oh my gosh, I'm really worried about blah, 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 blah. And I can't get it off my mind because in my brain, I thought they were mad at me when in reality, it had nothing to do with me and they were just worried about something else. Life is filled with situations that we don't always understand, and we're making assumptions based on what we think we feel and what we think a certain body language means and what we think a certain look means, when in reality, that only works in our being. Clarification is necessary. Respect is necessary. Being vulnerable is necessary. If we want to create a better society, if we want to create better relationships in the workplace and at home, it starts with us. I hope this conversation has kind of opened your mind to think about maybe some things that you maybe haven't thought about in a while. And I'm open to have any conversations with you about this further or any other topic that you want to talk about. I feel like more now than ever, we need to respect one another, love one another, understand one another, appreciate one another, take the time to truly know one another, love one another, and just allow each person to be who they are. Love unconditionally, respect, and help one another to grow and to become. At the end of the day, those are the things that we all want, right? I hope you have a great weekend, and I'd love to have some conversations. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to discuss, and let's start talking. Have a great weekend.